All right, so you have your O-ring that sits in this groove, right? And then you have your pump body and this piston bellow, as I like to call them, sit down inside of here. Everything on this O-ring and below it is exposed to fuel. Everything above it is exposed to hydraulic fluid. So the number one reason why the pumps fail is the O-ring failing and allowing fuel to leak into the hydraulic section. So that's the number one reason why they fail. What I was doing before was because these rely on that hydraulic actuation with the plunger pushing in here. So basically every time this plunger is getting depressed, it's making hydraulic fluid expand out this plunger, and that's what it looks like every time this swash plate comes around and pushes down on one of these plungers. It's pushing hydraulic fluid in there, and it's making this bellow expand out, as it gets pushed. So the goal with the retaining compound was they're relying on a taper fit between this cap and this piston bellow. So basically any hydraulic fluid that leaks past this seal between the cap itself and the piston bellow would be reduced performance. It would be like leaking like the equivalent of a leaking valve in an engine. So the O-ring goes in this groove, but this part where I was putting the sealant is above the O-ring. So the O-ring's job is to isolate the fuel from the hydraulic section. And when I was putting the retaining compound, I was basically bonding the cap to the piston bellow itself. I stopped doing that because basically I didn't really see any kind of performance benefit. So that's why I'm not really doing that anymore.